Broadcasting from the Symphony Studios in Marietta, Georgia, it's time for the High Tech Women Podcast, brought to you by Symphony Technology Solutions. Listen in as we speak with and learn from inspiring women who have stepped up and stepped into careers in technology and construction. Now, here are your hosts. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the High Tech Women Podcast, brought to you by Symphony Technology Solutions. In the Symphony studio with us today, we have the VP of Emerging Markets at JMA Wireless, Melissa Ashurst.
Would you please walk us through your professional journey and how you specifically found yourself in the tech industry?
Absolutely. So I came from a very non-traditional path. I actually started my adult career life as a sales admin for a hotel in Clearwater, Florida. And I worked my way up as a director of sales and marketing with Marriott over several different hotels. And in 2008, I had one of my famous self monologues where I said, okay, Melissa, what are you going to do? You know, the market is a mess and everybody's asking you to explain why all these big companies aren't traveling. What do you want to do? This is the perfect time to go after something new. So I thought about where I would like to be, and I thought back to my dad. And my dad was in the technology industry my entire growing up. And I had an uncle who was also extremely successful in the technology industry. And I decided that that was where I wanted to be. And I was given an opportunity going many steps backward in my career path, but to work with a CLEC, Nuvox at the time, doing business to business sales. It was a humbling experience, and I am very happy that there are people to do that. And when you are more mature in your career, is not when you want to be doing that. So I actually knocked on the door of Connectivity Wireless and had the opportunity to meet Blake Maffei, and he let me go through my entire sales pitch. And then he said, you know what, we're not ready to hire salespeople yet, and we don't need T1s, but we are going to need a salesperson, and I want you to be that salesperson. Wow. So I stayed in touch with him, and I am so grateful for the opportunity that they gave me to get into this, emerging industry at the time. And it has just been a wonderful ride, and I have never looked back. I've never regretted it. And I hope that we can inspire more people to come and take this journey with us.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, Melissa, of course, today, that's an incredible journey that you've led to date, leading you into becoming the VP of Emerging Markets at JMA Wireless. So can you tell us a little bit, Melissa, about one, what JMA does, and then two, what you do in your role as VP?
Sure. So JMA is actually a American manufacturer based out of Syracuse, New York. Makes us very unique, especially when you look at everything going on in the world of 5G. We are the only US-based manufacturer tied to 5G. We do all of our software development, R&D, cybersecurity, manufacturing. It's all done here in the United States at several different locations that we have. We are focused right now on trying to bring digital equity and equality across the United States. And we've been really successful in that. So we've brought education opportunities to thousands of students that were being impacted by the digital divide. And my team specifically is working every day to ensure that we continue to build on those wins and get more kids getting connected. And not just kids, I think, everybody forgets about all those telehealth visits, and, the ability to do that is pretty important these days.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's very true. And so when you say that divide, Melissa, can you talk a little bit about what that means and maybe kind of how it leads into this initiative of getting kids involved in tech?
Yes. So there is, of course, this gap between the have and the have-nots, and that can be just due to where they live. In rural America, there's not a lot of high-speed internet out there. Or it could be somebody who lives in a very metropolitan part of the country but can't afford access to internet or connectivity. So what we're doing is working with cities and municipalities to deploy CBRS, so private LTE, over the entire city or county to then give students or lower income individuals the ability to come and get end user. I should have brought one of these devices to show you, an end user device that they can actually put in their homes, and it kind of acts like what you all are familiar with hotspots, with MiFi and things like that. It's very similar, and it's all metered, so they make sure that the content is being filtered, and it's something that's going to be appropriate for those students that are accessing the network. So it is very exciting. As part of that, though, we have been able to, I was just in Amarillo this week, and we did a massive dinner with West Texas A&M, where we had the opportunity to partner not only with the city on what we're doing with Digital Divide, but to talk to these engineering students about all of the amazing opportunities that exist in our industry. So we're trying to run parallel and going really deep with those partnerships in local communities.
Love that. Love that.
Yeah, that's exciting. Melissa, can you tell us a little about the Women in Technology initiative that you launched through JMA?
Yes, my passion, my baby. So again, I've been around for a little bit. I think I've been in this industry 13 years now to date myself, and I've worked various places, AT&T, systems integrators, and I'm at the point in my career where I feel like it's time to give back. And I had the opportunity to meet John Mezzalengua last year at VZ Tough before everything got shut down.
Mhm.
And we were having iced tea, and he said, I'd love to have you come to JMA. And I said, well, there's some things that I would need in order to make that happen. And one of those is tied to women in technology, and you don't have an effort around this. And it's something that is incredibly important to me. And if I do come work for JMA, it would be critical that I be able to have your support and guidance in creating a Women in Technology initiative. And he shared a very charming story with me about his daughters actually providing feedback to him after a dinner that there were no women at that dinner. And it was very concerning to them that, there were just all of these men sitting around making decisions, and where were the ladies?
Mhm.
So he absolutely understood it. He agreed. Obviously, he would love to see his daughters come up and take, the reins of this company at some point. So it has just been fantastic. It's been a great partnership between our HR team, our technical teams, our manufacturing teams. We're growing. So you'll start seeing on LinkedIn and other places that we have a JMA Women in Technology book club. We have a mentoring effort. We have an external effort with our partners, such as you all and the carriers, to bring women in leadership voices and how they got to their positions throughout the industry. We do internal events where we have a speaker every 2 weeks come and talk to our internal employees about issues that are important to women, but things that could apply to anybody within the company as a resource. Oh boy, I'm missing something. And then we have our student events. So tying back into the West Texas A&M, that was co-sponsored between JMA and JMA's Women in Technology, Girls in Tech group. So ton of effort around ensuring that we are getting the right resources, giving our internal employees opportunities to grow professionally and personally, and hopefully growing that to include some of our smaller integrators who can't do this within their own companies.
Great.
I mean, that's really amazing to have, one, the experience that you have, Melissa, and then to know that you wanted to bring this with you into whatever organization that you set foot in. So knowing that was something you wanted to bring to JMA, and fast forward to what you've done with that and really this growing effort for women in tech. And so, Melissa, reflecting back on your own personal journey and now looking outward, getting to really interact with these young people entering into tech, specifically, I mean, young people, but also women in tech, what piece of advice would you offer to someone wanting to enter into this industry?
Boy, I think my biggest advice would be to explore. So I think it's very common for people to think about our industry and immediately think about engineering. And there's so much more to this industry than just engineering. And that was even my message to the students that we had dinner with on Monday night is, if you know somebody who's in marketing or sales or HR or, for us, manufacturing, and there's just so many opportunities beyond engineering in this industry that I encourage you to explore. And even if you are an engineer, there's again, lots of opportunities that exist in just the engineering fields of this industry. And as we see 5G advance, C-band advance, and then private LTE, the need for people who not only understand RF design, but also understand network. For private LTE, everything that the carriers typically do for an integrator or a manufacturer is gone. So now we have enterprise customers that have never run a network on their own, and they have no idea where to begin. And it opens up a whole new set of skills that we need in our industry, and such an amazing opportunity for people to grow and develop in their careers, even if they're already here.
Wow, man.
Well, who would you say has been your greatest influence and inspiration, Melissa, in getting you to where you are today?
This is going to sound really sappy, and I hope my husband doesn't watch this.
Okay.
Absolutely, my husband. Going back to advice, is it takes support. It takes so much support. It's hard to be in any industry. Being in an industry where you're a minority is very hard. And when you're a woman I have 3 little boys and a husband, it becomes extremely challenging. And finding that partner or support system in your life is critical to your success. And my husband, he propels me to do things that I never would have pushed myself to do if it were not for him. And he is always there saying, "You go get them, girl. And I'm so proud of you." And he celebrates every success I have, any failure I have, he erases in my mind. And because of him, I succeed. Because of him, my 3 little boys grow up understanding how important it is to support those around them, that women can be great leaders. And I owe so much to him. I'm so grateful.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I love that.
He's a great guy.
Yes.
He is. Stay away, ladies.
It's all yours.
And I think, Melissa, that hits on such a key point. Like you said, it's having those people in your corner who are going to support you and they're going to lift you up because you're pouring out. So you need someone to be in your corner, especially on the days that you might forget why you're here and that you belong here and you're qualified for this. You need those people to stand behind you and remind you, and you get to be that for others. And so to have someone in your corner is equally as important.
Absolutely. And it's, I have a huge network of mentors that I've developed over the years. And, I encourage anybody that if you are struggling, there's so many of us out here in this industry. Johnny, I'm sure you're one of them that, we all have had people to be there to support us and guide us, or, even if it's just for a moment of bouncing ideas off of somebody. It's so important, and it's so rewarding for us to be able to give back and contribute to somebody else's career. But for people who are struggling, sometimes for me, I have hard days or I have something going on, and I'll send a text message to one of my mentors, Chris Zach, saying, I may need to talk to you this weekend about something. And he immediately gets back to me, and I never even have to follow up with him. But I'm just knowing that somebody is there to pick up the phone if you need them is all we need. So absolutely, support is everything.
Yes. I love that, Melissa. And clearly it speaks to you, the value you place on mentorship and guiding the next generation, guiding people who need it. It's clear in the way you are living your life too, seeking the guidance of mentors that have helped lead you. And so, Melissa, if someone wanted to get in touch with you, learn more about you, JMA, and your Women in Tech initiative, where might they do that?
LinkedIn, please reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm one of the few people that will actually respond, and I respond as quickly as I possibly can. And sometimes people just friend me, and I'll send them a message back asking, "Why was there a reason you reached out to me?" So please feel free.
Thank you all for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed this episode. To learn more about Symphony, you can follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube at Symphony Technology Solutions, and on Instagram at Symphony Tech Solutions. Never forget that wherever your pursuits take you, cling to the truth that you were absolutely made for a time such as this. See you on our next episode.